I once heard someone say that the two most common types of posts on the internet, that the posts on the internet that get shared the most, get interacted with the most, are posts that make you angry and posts that make you laugh. There are, people share things that make them happy or make them sad, but not nearly as much as what makes them laugh or what makes them incandescent with rage. Those are the things that really make the numbers go up. And I have no idea if that is scientifically true or not, just full disclaimer, but I think about it all the time because with this one piece of information, it really helps you understand what the internet is. I think what politics online really is, it's not really politics if we're being honest with ourselves. It's things that make you angry and things that make you laugh. That's basically what we're doing here. I'd like to think that I'm in the group of, I try to make you think, right? Like I try to make you learn something that you've never learned before. And there's a bit of that too. And it's certainly the more intellectually curious people who get involved with politics online. So there's definitely some of that going on. But there's a lot of posts. I've been thinking about this recently. I don't think that a lot of things we see online are real. And I talked about this in my video about tradwives. And I think, although I really liked making that video and I found it kind of cute and funny, I don't think tradwives are really a thing. Like, I don't think they're really happening. It's happening on the internet, but really, I don't think there's probably more than 200 self-proclaimed tradwives making these extremely viral content pages in the whole world, right? Like, it's not a real phenomenon. It's just a few people who have made a lot of, got a lot of attention doing this thing, and because there's so many eyeballs on them and so many comments going around about it, it seems like something that's happening, but it's really not. So I've started playing this game in my head every time I see something going around, like there's a new discourse, there's a new talking point that everyone's got their own take on. And I try to imagine, like, is this really happening? Like, if, wait a week and, if it's gone away, then I think it probably was never anything to begin with, right? Like, if it's just a reaction to a reaction to a reaction to something one person said, I don't think it's anything that's really worth your attention. And all we're doing is just talking about things for the sake of talking about them, for the sake of making each other laugh and making each other angry. There's this allegory that Plato came up with of the cave, Plato's cave. And I know I'm not using this in the way that Plato intended, but this is something that I've come to think about a lot when thinking about what we do online. And I think there's a lot of this going around on the internet where we think that what we see is real, something that's really happening. And I think sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. And I think sometimes, to take the analogy a little bit further, I think sometimes there's just a little sort of shadow puppet show going on where there's some people who want you to think that something's happening when really it's just, they're just playing you. They're coming up with a story for you to watch, because they're trying to amuse you, because they're trying to persuade you to a certain point of view. And it's not that I don't like, having a laugh and getting angry at all the things I'm supposed to be angry at. I really do enjoy those things, and it really makes me feel close to the other people who are also getting angry at the same things as me and laughing at the same things as me, and trying to post something to make each other laugh. I really enjoy that experience, both in real life and online. And I don't think I'm going to stop doing that, and I'm not going to ask you, the viewer, to stop doing that. But I think lately what I've been doing is when I see posts that make me kind of upset, that make me, I don't know, feel demoralized. I talk about demoralization in a video that I made a few years ago, and that was about sort of deep mainstream demoralization, like the news stories and the art, the media that makes people hate themselves, like hate their country, hate just humans in general. It thinks about how much damage we're doing to the environment and how awful people are, and all we do is just bad things, and our country is full of bad people and our history is full of bad events that we've done to other nations and to each other, and all this ugly artwork that we put up now. I think that was a good video. But lately I've been thinking about demoralization in terms of our own, what I consider to be like our community on the internet. That is that's me, and that's all the people who I talk to on YouTube, all the people I interact with on Twitter, my mutuals, and you, the audience, as well, part of that community, whether you believe so or not. You're at least adjacent because you're watching this video. And there's been a lot of talk recently about this sort of gender war that's been ignited again, or the woman question as it's sometimes known, where, as far as I can tell, basically nothing has happened, but there's been a sort of resurgence in the what we call the infighting, where the women are starting to get irritated by how many anti-woman posts there are. Like, I really don't want to say the word misogyny, because that's not the terms that we use, but basically the amount of women hate that is being posted among people who otherwise should be our friends. And I think that's probably not even real, in the sense that I stopped seeing all of the anti-woman posts, all of the women hate posts, just by muting about 4 accounts on Twitter, which is why I never get bothered by it anymore, because I just have those. When I identified the accounts that were responsible for most of the posts that I didn't like to see, that made me feel unwelcome, that made me feel sad about being a woman, I just muted those accounts, and it all went away. Mostly all of it. I don't see that anymore. I don't get upset by it anymore. And really, when it felt all these women who were saying, quite rightly, that they don't feel that the space is welcoming for women, they're kind of right, but also it's not coming from all the men. It's just coming from like a small number of them that you can just mute if you want to. And similarly, the thing that they're reacting to, which is the men who hate women or who say things about hating women, I don't think those men really do hate women. I think it's just a game of bravado for them, where they'll just, they like to say bad things about women, and they like to share posts, share videos and clips that make women look bad. I think in their real life, these men probably don't hate women that much, and if they do, they'll probably just grow out of it in a few years, right? Like, it's probably just a phase. So I don't think the women hate was real, and I don't think that I think that the posts that made these men hate women probably aren't real either. Like, if you're I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you hate women, but if you hate women, maybe it's because you've had bad experiences with women in real life. But I think much more likely is that there's a lot of videos and a lot of accounts out there that you can watch and follow to see really the absolute worst sides of the human race and women in particular, that would not give women a very flattering treatment, let's say. I guess what I'm saying is that if you really want to be angry about something, there's plenty of things to be angry about in the world, but you should probably try to get involved in things that are close to you that you can actually change before getting angry about women. Women are always going to exist, I'm afraid. But if you get involved with your community, with your you'll find out that there's lots of things that you can actually help with in your local town, your local hospital, your local school, your local GP's office. There's plenty going wrong there that you can get angry about. There's stuff that's really happening that I think is is politics, you know, but there's something you can do about it. And if you feel like there's nothing you can do about it, then that might be the demoralization working on you. Anyway, I'm about to enter the area of it's going to be embarrassing to continue filming out in public, so I guess I'll sign off. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.